Hello. Thank you for tuning in to this week's read. Let's see. For the main part of the read, the tarot I'm going to use is the Ultimate RPG Tarot Deck by Jeff Aldrich and John Taylor. Here's a picture of the box. And there's a website, I think it's Simon & Schuster. Yeah, Simon & Schuster. Feel free to freeze frame and check out that if you want that information for the tarot deck. Oracle cards. Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, one of my favorites. And Rockpool Publishing, yes, Rockpool Publishing. Here at the bottom, if that focuses, is the website, rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as in apple, use an umbrella. I don't know if you can I don't know if you're going to be able to see the rest that's on the back here, but if you want to freeze frame and check it out, feel free. The dice I use, I now have a 21-sided dice, which does omit 0 for the Fool, but it gives me most of them. And I got a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and I've updated. Here is the website for them. If it focuses. I think it says Tom Anders there. There's this. Some people use those things. Feel free to use that thing if you want to use that thing. It's also, I think the smaller dice came in this. It's called the Dice Shop. I don't know if you can see it. mathartfun.com if you want to check out that website. Okay. With that being said, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. And now on to your reading. See if I pointed the right way this time. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for when you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Scorpio? Is that one card? I think so. Communication is definitely... Well, communication is like maybe something isn't being said, but who's not saying it is the good question. I usually like to get all the cards out before we... Okay. Something's not being said. What's not being said? Okay. A couple double cards. Well, this is one good double card. I'm going to look. Okay, so... Don't leave this up to chance. Don't leave this up to chance is what I'm also getting. Now, whatever the situation is, looking in the history, the past of it, it does look pretty good, but I feel like I'm missing a piece of the story. So there's been good times here, or whatever this is, but I'm not privy to the whole story. So if this is a work situation, for argument's sake, maybe there's been a time where there's been something really good that's come in, or something really good that's happened, maybe before you worked in this department or this company or with this person, something like that. If it's more of a social aspect, maybe something good has happened for somebody else that you know and you've heard about it, but you didn't know all the details. Maybe you didn't even question it because it was a good thing. Why would I question it? Or for whatever reason, like, it's not going to harm me. Why would I question it? One of those things. That looks like a mask. Is that a mask? Maybe not. There's something with communication. Something's not being said. And somebody's just kind of going forward with what they want. Something isn't being said. You have the ability to change or find out more information to maybe have more direction where this situation is going. Something isn't being said. You might be the one who's not saying anything. For whatever reason, it might be you not saying something and feeling like maybe that's the better way to go for right now. But I'm getting, like, whatever the situation is, it's kind of like, no, it's time to say something. I feel like it's better for you to say something. And maybe they're trying to bring this back around, kind of like maybe you're kind of like, no, I'm not going to say anything, maybe not right now at least. And if this reading is hitting, they're trying to bring it back around, kind of like, wait, let's rethink that, Scorpio. Maybe it's better if you do say something right now. Yeah, something is like the information isn't coming forward. Somebody's not saying why they're choosing what they're choosing. And for some reason, I really don't see you questioning it right now. It's kind of like, I'll see where it goes. And they're saying maybe that's not the best idea just yet. Because whatever it is, I feel like you might end up in this little bit of a quagmire, kind of like, oh, if I had known that, or if I had thought that, or if I kind of moved it in a different direction, this could have been better. This might be that moment, kind of like, I wish I had known. This might be your wish you can know moment. We always have those moments sooner or later in life where we're like, if I had known then what I know now. You know those moments? Those moments? This is one of those moments. And you can know, but you got to get a little deeper into it. If you get a little deeper into it and you start realizing that certain people aren't saying things, you can find that information. Like, instead of looking back later going, if I had known then what I know now, instead of going there, you can know now. And you can make that decision the way you want to make it. What is that, the Magician? There's a lot here that can be done, a lot of good things that can be done, but you got to be able to discern what's really happening. Somebody's not saying something. For some reason, it does seem to be like, it's not that you're not completely aware that something's a little off, you just seem to be not questioning it right now. That's the thing. It's not that you don't know something's a little off, it's just not triggering you enough to find out what. It's kind of like, I'll let it play out, we'll see what it is as I keep going. I'm not super worried about it. But they're saying if you make contact and connect with this, you're the one who has to kind of come together with it, and you could direct this in a better way. Again, I keep getting like there's this little bit of an inkling like, yeah, I know something's a little off, but it's probably not that important, or I'll find out later. They're like, nope. They're trying to bring you back around. Like, no, Scorpio, come back around. Come back. Let's think about this again. You can find out now. You don't have to live that moment later. If I had known then what I know now, you don't have to get into that moment. This is funny because when I'm looking at this person, it's almost like somebody in class putting up their hand, kind of like, I have a question. I want some answers. I have a question. All you have to do is start questioning the situation just enough. I feel like you could do this peacefully if you want to, but you don't have to. I don't know what that means. So you can be peaceful about it. You don't have to be peaceful about it. In the sense of like, I guess I'm looking at this in a spiritual sense. Like, if you're not really peaceful about bringing forth your questions, I don't think that's a bad thing for some reason. Because I feel like that might kind of make somebody nervous and they might trip over themselves enough that you really get a lot of information. So if you don't want to be peaceful, you don't have to be peaceful. Whatever that means, I guess it's up to you what that really means and how you would go about it. Your personality, your flavor. I feel like you know exactly what that means. I just don't know, if that makes sense. Okay, so this choice comes forward. If you already know when you get there, this is going to be that moment. So like the sooner you do this, the sooner you like say, hey, I got questions, I need answers. Come on, I want the information. I know something's not quite right here. I want to know. The sooner you do that, the more you'll be armed with the truth, the more you'll have that broader view of the situation that you need. It'll change things. Because there's going to be a quick moment here with choices have to be made, and choices have to be made quickly. When it happens, you'll understand it. There's going to be a quick choice you have to make, maybe a few of them. Already having that broader picture, already knowing things, will definitely color where you're going to go. So I feel like this will be that moment where you're like, because I know what I know, I'm going over here and over there. If I hadn't known what I'd known, I would have gone completely different, but I know what I know, so I'm going to make these couple choices. It's all about what you know. You know what I mean? You don't want this to be that moment again. If I had known then what I know now. You know what I mean? We all have those moments. We all have those moments. Not for nothing. If you don't know what's going on at this point, you're going to make a random move and it's just not going to go where you want it to go. You're kind of like playing luck. You don't have to play luck on this. This is playing luck where, like, 90% of the places it could go are not where you want to go. 10% are where you want to go. Luck is not really going to be easy for you. It's not going to go in your favor. You know what I mean? If you know, I feel like it's driving me nuts that I keep saying it that way. If you know, and you ask the questions, and you got your answers, you're going to start building something that's a little bit more difficult, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult in the sense of like there's boundaries and there's some regimen. I keep getting something regimented. I don't know. There's something regimented that you might find, all right, I wouldn't normally choose that because it's not how I like to do things, but because I know what I know, because I asked questions, I will choose the regimented path because of the outcome I need, the outcome that's important to me. And you'll create something that's very of high value for you. I feel like if you also choose this direction, people are like, why are you choosing that, Scorpio? That's not your jam. That's not how you do things, Scorpio. Why are you Scorpio, why are you going there? You create what you want if you choose well. Again, I get like, it's again something, I feel like I'm choosing something very regimented. And I'm like, only because I know some information, because I asked certain questions, only because I did that would I choose this path. I feel like I wouldn't otherwise. And there's not just one regimented path, there's a few of them. So it's not just about choosing the regimented path, it's about knowing which one I need to choose to get what I want that's important to me. Especially when it comes to Scorpio. And I've seen this with Scorpio. You'll put yourself through some difficult things if people mean enough to you and you really think it's worth it. But let's make sure it's worth it. So if we're going to choose that type of path, let's make sure it really gets you what you want, and you're not just like driving yourself nuts for no reason. All right, the outcome. What is that? It's good, but there's a bit of fire there. Scorpio can roll with some fire sometimes. All right, so we got Pentacles, we got the Queen of Pentacles, and then we got the Queen of Wands on the cards. We got growth, and we got the Strength, half in, half out. There's other people coming into play. They're strong players. Can Scorpio hold their own? Typically. I know there's a lot of flavors of Scorpio, so I'm not going to Scorpio can typically hold their own. But what I'm getting is like when you get so far down the path, it's not going to be easy to maneuver. You're going to need allies. There's definitely going to be allies there, but they're saying if you choose well before you get there, again, if I had known then what I know now, by choosing well, by choosing that regimented path, I feel like you also gain a very strong ally. You got the Queen of Pentacles coming in on the dice, which tells me if you choose well, you'll have your ally, and this will be a lot more easy for you. It's important. This is important. It's not just easy in the sense of like a walk in the park, easy in the sense of like I don't feel as stressed or I don't feel like as under the gun to try to make things work out correctly. If I have an ally that I really trust and I really can, depend on, the growth here can be very positive. Just because it's growth doesn't mean it's the growth that you want. Like plants grow, right? They do. Some plants, for example, I'm going to use, there's a certain type of walnut tree. I want to say it's the black walnut tree. That one of the ways it makes ways for new black walnut trees is to, strangle out the trees that have been there. Like the way the roots work somehow, it kind of like kills off the other trees. So I'm just getting, you want to be careful. You don't want to end up in a situation where you're like, every time I make one step forward, I end up taking 2 steps back because I didn't know. And I ended up in a situation where I really could have used an ally. This didn't have to be like this. It's one of those things. Again, I keep getting like, if I had known then what I know now, you don't have to end up in that position. You can go through, get the questions answered, choose the path that's really not appealing to you normally, but it's kind of like, nope, I'm going to choose that path because I need this. I need this to work out the way I need it to work out. I'm going to choose that path. I can do it. I'm not going to really enjoy it, but I will enjoy the outcome. This is one of those moments. This is one of those moments where this can be better for you down the road. All right, there's 2 cards. Pentacles. Pentacles are your allies here. Pentacles. Some type of earth energy, something very regimented, something really self-sufficient. Whoever this is, this ally, alright, so it's definitely going to be a their way type situation,
But as long as they're on your side and they're going where you want to go, all right, we have to do it your way. As long as we agree on the goal, as long as we agree on the destination, I can do it. It's a lot better than the other one, like one step forward, two steps back. So we don't want that one. I keep getting, again, you wouldn't choose this ally unless you felt like it was really necessary. And they're saying if you ask the right questions, you're going to see why it's necessary and you're going to make the appropriate choice because this is important. It's really important. It's kind of like I need to have the most assured, stable, this is going to work out the right way path. So I keep getting like a children thing. So it's kind of like, obviously every one of you won't have children that are a factor here, but it's almost like, I need something that's going to, help this child, and I need to have an ally that I know agrees with me that we're going to move in a way that's going to help this child long term. And it's kind of like if I'm fighting other people and other people are just causing problems, this child may never get the actual help they need. If I align with this person, they will definitely make sure the same way I do that this will work out in their benefit, the child's benefit long term, and that's what I need. This isn't negotiable. This is not something I can fail at. This has to work out. This has to be assured success. It feels like that level of importance. So even if you don't have a child connected to this, that's the level of importance I'm getting. Like, this is not negotiable. This has to work out. This is not allowed to fail. This is not allowed to. Not at all. If that makes sense. I think we're there. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.